Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so if you've made the jump and invested in solar panels, you definitely want to get the most bang for your buck, right?
Absolutely.
Today, we're diving into something crucial for that. Keeping those panels clean. It sounds simple, maybe, but we've got some really interesting info on why it's vital.
Yeah, it's surprisingly important.
Our mission here is basically to pull out the key insights you need to, protect that investment and keep the energy flowing.
And what's really quite striking is just how much a little bit of dirt actually affects performance.
How much are we talking?
Well, we're not talking tiny amounts. Even a super thin layer, say, just 1 millimeter.
1 millimeter, that's nothing.
Right. But it can, believe it or not, slash your panel's efficiency by up to 20%.
Wow, 20%.
Yeah, it's significant. Think of it like trying to sunbathe with a thin sheet over you. Still hot, but you're not getting the full effect.
Okay.
And if you're in, say, a dusty area or near industry, those losses can climb to 25% in like 6 weeks.
6 weeks, okay.
And in really bad conditions, we've seen data showing, 37, even up to 46% reduction. That's a huge chunk of energy and money just gone.
Okay, so it's clearly more than just, blocking the sunlight. What else is happening there?
Exactly. That dirt acts like, an insulator.
Ah, right. Trapping heat.
Precisely. It traps the sun's heat. And solar panels, ironically, they actually work less efficiently when they get too hot.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And this constant overheating, it can also start to degrade the materials, the protective layers on the panel.
So it shortens their lifespan.
It can, yeah. Potentially shortening the life of your whole system.
You mentioned hot spots earlier in the notes. That sounds a bit alarming. What's that about?
Right, hot spots, they happen when the soiling isn't even, think bird dropping or maybe a pile of wet leaves stuck in one corner.
Okay.
That specific shaded area, those cells, they stop producing power and instead start acting like resistors.
Resistors, so they just burn off energy.
As heat, exactly. This localized overheating can cause, irreversible damage to the panel itself. And although it's rare, it could even be a fire risk in extreme cases.
Okay, wow. So it really matters what kind of dirt is up there too, not just how much.
Definitely. Some types are much worse than others. Those bird droppings we mentioned, they're often acidic.
Oh, right. Corrosion?
Yeah, they can contribute to those hot spots and potentially corrode surfaces over time. Or if you live near the coast, like, say, Alicante.
Salt spray.
Exactly. Corrosive salt deposits, they can damage metal parts and also just cloud the glass, reducing light transmission.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got industrial pollutants, sometimes abrasive, sometimes chemically reactive, and in humid places, algae, mold.
That's good.
That can cause surprisingly big energy losses. We're talking maybe 13 to 15% just from organic growth.
15%.
And even just regular dust and grime, over time, it can be abrasive. It can scratch those important anti-reflective coatings on glass.
Which help capture more light, presumably?
Precisely. So scratching them makes the panels less effective overall.
This really shifts the perspective. Cleaning isn't just aesthetic, it's essential maintenance.
Yeah.
So what's the bottom line, financially?
Well, the financial case is pretty compelling, actually. Regular cleaning means, obviously, increased energy production.
How much increase are we typically looking at?
You could easily recover, say, 5 to 15% of lost production. And in those really dirty situations we talked about, maybe even 20 to 30% recovery.
That translates directly to savings, I guess.
Directly. Lower electricity bills, less reliance on buying power from the grid. Plus, and this is important, you're actively preventing potentially costly future repairs, or worst case, having to replace panels way too early.
Okay, makes sense. What does it typically cost to get them cleaned professionally? Let's say in Spain, for example.
Yeah, based on the info we have, in Spain, you're probably looking at somewhere between maybe 150 euro and 200 euro for a typical visit, though it can range. Smaller systems, say around 10 panels, might start from 100. Larger, more complex setups could go up towards 400.
And how do you know when it's time?
A good rule of thumb is to monitor your production. If you see a drop of, say, 5 to 10% compared to what you'd expect for that time of year, it's probably time for a clean.
Right.
And definitely don't just count on rain to do the job.
Oh, I thought rain would wash it off.
It's a common thought, but rain often just moves the dirt around, sometimes leaving mineral deposits or streaks behind. It rarely gives a proper clean.
So weighing the cost against the benefit, is paying for cleaning generally worth it? Does the extra energy pay for the cleaning cost?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Looking at the bigger picture, the return on investment, it really does depend.
Depends on what?
On things like how quickly your panels get dirty, where you live, the local soiling rate. Also, your electricity price, the higher it is, the more valuable each extra kilowatt hour is. System size matters too, and obviously the local cleaning costs.
So no single answer.
Not really. The data suggests that for, larger systems or in places with significant dust or pollution, professional cleaning often provides a clear net financial gain.
Okay.
For smaller systems or in cleaner areas, the immediate energy savings might sometimes be close to the cleaning cost.
Yeah.
But even then, you have to remember.
It's about protecting the hardware long term.
Exactly. You're protecting a significant capital investment from damage and gradual efficiency decline. Think of it as an operational expense to safeguard your asset.
So it really is about playing the long game, protecting what you've already put in.
Precisely. And that, I think, brings us to a really important question for you, the listener. How are your solar panels actually performing right now? Are you really getting the energy savings you expected when you installed them? Maybe it's time to take a closer look. Consider, what hidden costs might be accumulating if that maintenance is neglected.